Alright.
Select stage. Nothing will stop this show.
All right. Three, five, six. I see how that works now. Okay. Let's see. Interesting. But it's the second hit. Yeah, it's the second hit that launches. Okay, I see. All three hits of Darley's close heavy punch count as separate hits in the combo and cannot be repeated. This means that if I do something like this, I hit all three, I can't do it again. None of the hits will connect. But I can also do things like this, where I hit with the last two hits, right here. The first hit whiffs, and now I still get to use the first hit again in the juggle because it didn't connect earlier, but the next two hits will not work. In addition, only the first hit is cancelable into special moves, and only the second hit will knock the opponent off the ground if they're on the ground. If I cancel the first hit, they stay on the. Oops. If I cancel the first hit, they stay on the ground. And a little nuance because of that is that I can do this like that because the first hit was not used in the juggle because it was used before the juggle because the second hit is what started the juggle. So I can do this and I still get the first hit left. And that is her highest damage for low meter in the corner. Is to do this. Is to do something like that. Whiffs, okay. That works. 5, 3, 6, that is less damage than the other alternative. However, once you get to a certain point, it becomes more efficient to use your heavy punch in the middle of the combo, which is like this. Ooh. It's a little bit tricky. That was too late. The goal is to land the first hit of this as early as possible. So they have to like fall into it, but you still need to hit with the first hit, not the second hit, for it to be cancelable. Oops. How about this? Alright, I need to oh wait, that's definitely better. Wait, what? Oh, okay, I see. So this should be here, right? So that would be this combo without the first hit. How much damage is that? It's very tricky. There we go. Oh, I didn't get the right. Yeah, the A version. There we go. No. Nope. Close. I can also do this. Oh no, that doesn't work unless she's cornered. Why do I sometimes get an extra hit here? Oops. There it is. 492. Oh, I need to put Kim in the tier list. Forgot about that. He seems high. He seems high too. Which is where you should try to put every character. 492, 492. Then this one. Very high damage, very high damage. Alright. Yeah, that's correct. Alright, 356, 492, 601. 637. 721. 804. 6, 9, 4, 6. Very high damage all around. Now the question is, can I find a way to spend an extra EX here? I don't think so. I think I have to go with this and then throw on a level 2. Like that. Which sucks.
Can they recover?
Is there an alternate way to do this? I don't think so. Well, there's the... Hold on, I can do this. This, go to level 2. Which is not worth doing because that does less damage than the other variant, which costs less meter and is just as difficult. So don't do that. This doesn't work. How about this? Okay. 816. That's worth doing. You're getting 12 extra damage for spending an extra EX. Nice. That's horrible. And then the climax variant is this. This is probably gonna be really bad. This needs to do at least 886 to be worth it. It's just under 886. Oh, it's 870. Yeah. Can't do this combo. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. What you can do is this. Oops. Oops. Oop. Hmm. 891, huh? That's worth doing. by 5 damage. That is 5 more damage. I'm actually surprised that's still worth doing.
Fantastic! This match may be over.
Less by 3. What else can I do there? I can do those. Go for 2. These are all like... do whichever one you find the easiest. Because they're all pretty much the same.
Can they recover?
.5.
They're in the zone.
my Mystic order. It's the diagonal. Wait, what? There's more damage than the other one. Wait, what? Is that real? Is that real? That's 3.5 for 851 as opposed to the harder combo. Schedule for streaming, like apart from... I usually start an hour from now, but I started early today. My alarm will go off in approximately 30 minutes. Oops. Yeah, okay. That combo is obsolete.
For the highlight reel.
I wonder if there's a better one that I can find. Probably not. So let's fill these in. 6492 601 637 721 721 804 851 886 891 Are any of these weaker than the mid-screen? No. Darlie is exceptionally more complex in how she does her combos because her combos change drastically when she's in the corner as opposed to mid-screen. They also change drastically if she hits you with a light or a heavy, and they can also change drastically depending on how difficult you want the combo to be. So she has several different combo types that you might consider doing. Most characters like Vanessa, you just learn one combo and you're done. Also, just by the way her the scaling works out, it's very sporadic because she has several different combo routes that deal about the same damage, and because of rounding, depending on how much meter you spend, certain ones will deal more or less damage than others by like a couple of points. So that's also more complicated because I have to check all of them. Because many options, right? What other games have similar feel? I don't care about the combos in this game. And just in general, I don't really care about combos. I think from a game design standpoint, combos should be more than a couple of hits, like they are in most Street Fighter games. Because of just the way the balance works out. Because then, if you have a player who doesn't know the combos, they just press random buttons, they're more likely to get less damage that way, because they don't know the right combo, because the real combo is several hits long. I think KOF 13 does that pretty nice with the meterless combos. Like Hyo can do normal, command normal, special, 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 special. But I do agree that personally, I tend to like combos that have a lot of motions in them. A lot of motions. A lot of special move motions. And KOF games feel that way. Darlie kind of feels that way because she has a lot of moves that can be used in juggles. But for the most part in this game, that's not true. It's usually like 3 specials. And then you cancel the special into a super, and then you cancel that super into a super. The combos I like are KOF 13 combos, where you're doing special, 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 and you're canceling specials into each other very, very quickly. But that's just a personal that's not objectively better for a game to do that. It's just my preference. I think it is probably, in most cases, objectively better for the balance of the game to have combos that are more than just normal, 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 special, super. And KOF does it nice because they have several hits before the special, and depending on your character, you might have a launcher. Darlie doesn't have a meterless one, but she has a metered one. Oops. And she gets extended juggles off of that, so it's several hits after the launcher. And KOF has low damage scaling, which means that you're not punished for doing several moves in the combo, right? Like if you play Street Fighter 4 is an example of a game where you can do combos like this sometimes because of focus cancels, right? Like you do jab, 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 DP, focus cancel, or like even like jab, 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 low forward, Tatsu with Evil Ryu or Akuma, DP, FADC, and then do a combo that way. But you're actually punished for doing that. You're actually punished for doing that because each hit removes 10% damage per hit, whereas in KOF, each hit removes only 5% per hit. So the result of that is that if I do a move like, or if I do a string like this, let's just keep it simple. Let's do this combo. Scroll up. Let's do mid-screen. Yeah, let's do mid-screen. So if I do this, like if I do 3 lights. Three lights into a level 1 super is 347, whereas if I do 2 lights, it only does 342. I actually lose 5 damage for doing fewer hits, whereas in Street Fighter 4 and 5, you would actually end up doing more damage because of the damage scaling. The extra jab the extra jab at the beginning would add a little bit of damage at the start, but it would significantly reduce the damage of the combo at the end. And this is actually, I mean, it depends on the character, right? But this game also has a lot of supers that deal unscaled damage, which also helps with this. So if you're doing a combo into a super that is unscaled, it helps to do a bunch of hits earlier, because then that doesn't really reduce the damage. Although that is less true in this game for several reasons. Just because combos are shorter and you can cancel supers into supers, and there's just overall less unscaled damage. So there are some times where it's better to do fewer hits than more hits. Like I bet this is one of them. Oh, come on. 171 versus... Oh, that's not one of them, actually. I don't know of an example off the top of my head, but it's probably possible. Skullgirls feels like 2 seconds of crazy neutral before you get hit by a stray attack, and then proceed to get combo for at least 30 seconds. The way Skullgirls and most versus games are designed is, yeah, combos are long. But you're allowed to stop your combo early at a random point, and you might do an instantaneous mix-up and start the combo over again. That's how most versus games are designed. And Skullgirls like takes that and makes it a mechanic. Like, if you do a long combo, their undizzy gauge goes up higher more quickly, which means that your next combo will end sooner. So you're incentivized to do 1, maybe 2 loops of a combo, which this is hard programmed into the game. The game actually keeps track of like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And stage 1 does not increase the undizzy gauge, but stage 2 and 3 do. So you're incentivized to do like stage 1 and then maybe stage 2 and then do a reset and do your next combo and then kill them. Which is just, that's part of the game. That's what the developers wanted the game to be like. Really? I thought it was a stage 0. I thought there was a stage 0 with your jump in, but I might be wrong. No, I think that is right. If you start a combo on the ground, it's a stage 2, and if you do a jump in, it's a stage 1. So it's from stage 3 that they get the undizzy. But in games like this, they like that wouldn't really work in KOF because it wouldn't do anything. Like if you had an undizzy gauge in KOF, that would just nerf characters like Kukri who have very long combos and nothing else. Because what are the chances that I get a knockdown? What are the chances that I get a knockdown and then immediately get a hit? Like, it's significantly lower because all I have is lows and maybe overheads if I'm willing to do like a max mode thing or a cross up for some characters. Outside of those scenarios, the undizzy gauge will just go down again because my mix-up is, oh, they're blocking and they're going to get guard broken eventually. Or even if I go for a throw, it's like I have to wait for the 10 frames on the throw. So that's 10 frames for the undizzy to go away. An incoming mix-up in Skullgirls is similar to how it works in other games. Yes. Although each character has a different incoming, I think. And I don't, it's been a long time, but I think I think he ended up adding something to the game that makes it harder to hit the opponent while they're incoming. Like some sort of cross-up protection. But I don't remember. I don't really remember. I haven't played the game in a long time. It's not my kind of game. Well, I have something written down for every combo damage value, at least. There's probably better things that I can do in my time, so I'll move on. How about just scroll through and pick a character that is very empty. Oh, I don't have any of Joe's stuff right. Oh, Joe. Oh boy. I'll just look for matches, for sure. Let me look at the Discord. Oh. Oh, what character should I do? Never mind. How updated is your fighting games tier list? I mean, why would it change? The only time that I would change it is if I was adding a new game. My thoughts on games don't really change. Unless the game gets updated. Let's do this.
Select order. Select stage. It's about to be a party up in here.
Yeah, those are games that I would... Yeah. Yeah. Type Lumen is not fun.
Round one.
Yes, it is a joke. Oh boy. Really? Did I really just go with my fireball? He didn't do it this time. Roll, but it didn't roll. Not a good connection. Obviously. Really, that can punish? How did I hit you? I get wrecked. As a roll. Get strong. What? What? No way that would freaking punish that. Okay, he does not have the same rollback as I do. Well, I couldn't run out of that. What? Okay.
This is just the start of a new worldwide legend. Winner.
There's no way he has the same amount of lag as me. This is one-sided.
Round one. Ready? Go.
He'll eventually stop doing that. Obviously. I waited for it and he didn't do it and then he did it. So it's like, really? What? I feel like, and he consistently like walks forward there, so I think he's actually making an input error. If I had, how did that reach? You didn't do the right combo. I didn't roll, it didn't roll. I did roll again, it didn't roll. Unbelievable. He didn't do it. How did I hit you? And of course it trades. And I do 0 damage on a trade, obviously. Because that's how game design works. Interesting. Not a cross-up somehow. Okay. Just do the same thing twice in a row. Is that just ambiguous between jump and super jump? Because KOF 13 doesn't really have those. But it also has them and they're a lot stronger. But it also doesn't have them. at all.
Round one. Ready? Go!
How did I hit you? That's strong. How would he do that? I tried to to full jump over it, but it just didn't work.
Ready? Go!
That should be punishable, but it's not, I guess. That's not what I wanted. How did I hit you? That's a cross-up. And that somehow was a cross-up and the other ones weren't. Makes sense.
Round four. Ready? Go!
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Okay, pick a character that doesn't have the freeze ante in the game, please. What? Okay, I got bored. I got bored and I did a move that I thought was in range, but it wasn't in range. Somehow. You know, in most games your hurt box gets wider when you throw a fireball, but I guess not with this character. Which means that I literally couldn't have punished that without using a super. I think. Maybe EX would have worked.
Ready? Go!
What? I canceled my sweep into fireball and he went over it. Anti-air. Obviously. My character doesn't have a cross-up. Okay. I hit roll. You saw me hit the buttons, but it didn't roll. I would have died anyway. What are you doing? Nice connection, bro. Oops, that's the wrong move. Oh, that was punishable. Nope, she does not have a DP. Well, it has air invincibility. Oh, that's what I wanted. Woohoo! What are you doing? I mean, there's several different editions. Her quarter forward punch, all versions I believe are well, that's not what I wanted. Where's my climax? I didn't. Oh, I don't have a meter. Yep. Are you kidding me, dude? What just happened? No punish, huh? Yeah, same thing every time. Wait for the jump and react to it. That's 100% of your game plan, is to wait for me to jump and try to react to it. Pick a character with an insane crouching heavy punch, Billy, Shermie, or a character with a flash kick like Ash. That's your game plan. He's not going to ask for my advice, but if he wants my advice is pick different characters that have different anti-airs. Because there's a lot of things in the neutral game that you're just not doing at all. And it just, the connection is making me very ticked off. Yeah. Really. Yeah, see, he's doing it. Like, I just spent 60 seconds without doing any jumps, and then he's still ready for the jump. Oh, that's all I wanted. And it's too laggy, I can't whip punish that. Like, this match would be going very differently if it were offline. Which is very annoying. See? Like, I just can't punish it. Do it? Nope. I definitely blocked that. That's somehow... Okay, her jump CD is complete trash. No, I don't go to tournaments. Is the opponent on Wi-Fi? It is possible. I definitely hit roll like twice. Of course. thankfully we're done.
If you want to know how to win, this is the person to ask. Winner!
No, he does not have a built-in guard crush move. I'm about to block this guy. I'm just not in the mood. Consider your next message very carefully. He did not consider his next message very carefully. That is a glitch in the game. Dealing with the rollback. It happens with life bars, and it happens with guard gauge, and it happens with your super meter. When the connection is very bad, there will be visual artifacts. It used to happen a lot with like projectiles, where the projectile would just fly off in the wrong direction. And so things like kukri sand projectiles were just basically invisible. You play different opponents. That's how you fix that. I have only seen a glitch like that caused by rollback in this game. But yeah, it's very annoying when, like, it's very obvious that this match is not indicative of either player's skill because of the lag. It's really annoying. Like, obviously the correct thing for me to do there was to, like, just keep jumping over and over again, because he would eventually lag like me, and not anti-air. So, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to try to beat the lag by reacting to the forward B and punish it on whiff. And I punished it on whiff 0 times, despite the fact that he whiffed it like 10 times. Which, I mean, I can practice that right now. But it's not gonna help, because there's no rollback in training mode.
It's about to be a party on the here!
Well, that's a different punish. You walk forward to punish that one. Oh, that was a weird one. So I failed to punish. But you saw, I just... Wow, that has no range. Oops. Help, I'm dead. What? He didn't do the special move before the super. Do 6B. That's 6A, do 6B. Ah, I failed it. I lost attention. What? Okay. They can't do that in 13. Oh. I was talking. Ooh. What? That's punishable. Oh, I failed it again. Even CPUs do wake-up throws, I guess. What is... How did that not cross me? He was like point blank. Stop that. Stop it! Do 6B. What the heck? Oh, I'm just bad, I guess. I'm gonna punish 6A, which is harder to punish on reaction. I like fall asleep as soon as he does 6B. What the heck are you doing? Oh, that doesn't work. Hey, I got one. Oh, I missed a quarter circle there. Got one. Stop that. Yeah, see? This is not hard if I pay attention. too far. Yeah, see? Like... So then, what happens if we play offline? He can't 6B anymore. That's all I know, is he can't 6B anymore, willy-nilly, when we play offline. That's all I know. Is he better than me? I don't know. There's no way to know. I would guess no. I would guess no, because he immediately began relying on 6B. Which means that's probably his go-to strategy anyway. So if I remove that, he's probably not got much left. That's my guess, but it's impossible to know because we're not playing offline. And yes, it is very true that if you watch the stream of a player while playing them on a PC game, that makes your connection between the two of you worse. It is just a fact. That's how peer-to-peer connections work. That's how reality works. It usually doesn't happen for consoles. It can happen for consoles, but not always. Why are you not trying to get in my stream then? I mean, we can talk about whatever you want. The title says fighting game Q&A, but I can talk about whatever. Until I find a match. That is a legitimate question that I asked, by the way. And... a weird question. About what? So how do you, like... Farley's jump attacks are very slow, which is a problem. I guess I use this. Maybe I didn't use this enough. If he crouches... It's like... Wow. When I invest in fighting games, I get super excited whenever I see new Project L Street Fighter 6 update or Tekken tourney or whatever. Okay. What's the question? performance I just don't play. So you don't want to get invested. Okay, so it sounds to me like there's a dissonance between what you do and what you want to do. And the answer to that problem is to do it. If you're not doing it, why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing it? Is it because... I would guess it's because you just don't want to get started, or like you don't like getting started. In which case, the best answer is to just do it. Just do it. You don't need a reason to get started, just do it. Like, are you really in? If you do you really want to get invested if you don't play it? Like, just tell them I'm picking a game character. Do that. Pick a game, pick a character, learn the character, and play the game. Don't switch games. Or if you do plan to switch games, do what I do and write things down so that you don't lose it. Oh, her back dab. Oh, that was her hop. Okay, this is a very inconsistent move. But it seems strong while on offense. Until that happens, it's like... Yeah, like, I don't really get this move. It doesn't have as big of a hitbox as it seems. Yeah. That's a jump heavy kick. Jump heavy punch goes forward to back. Jump heavy kick goes back to front and can cross up. But yeah, like, the hitbox on this does not spawn. There's no hitbox yet. It spawns like on that frame, is the thing. Like here, the move I don't think is active yet. I don't think it actually hits back there. I think it's active on the next frame. See? Yeah, see, look at that. The move doesn't hit until her weapon is vertical. Yeah. But she has kicks. And her standing heavy kicks. Do I watch anime? No. When was the last time? The last time I watched anime was when I rewatched Death Note because I had to spend a week at my sister's house while she was giving birth so that I could watch their dog. And they had Netflix. And Death Note was on Netflix, and Death Note's good. So I rewatched Death Note. That was the last time I watched anime. And that was almost a year ago. We'll agree to disagree on that? That Death Note's good? Or what? Death Note's very good. What's wrong with Death Note? Well, here's the question. If my opponent does like this... People compare it to Shakespeare? Why does other people's comparisons of the show affect your opinion of the show? Oh, it's safe, actually. Like, if I block this, what happens? What do I frickin' do? That's, there we go. That's a punish. That'll punish some things. It won't punish this. There's no way. Oh, come on. Yeah, no chance. I find the characters dumb. Light is dumb. What is dumb about him? Because he's actually very smart. Do you think it's... Do you really think that let's see. Do you think that a person given a tool like that would not eventually go insane? He doesn't have any layers? What do you mean? So he has the very intelligent... I feel the situations are manufactured. I disagree with that. I think that the rules... I think that the literal rules in the notebook are manufactured. And, like, you know, the general rules of the universe. But basically nothing else. It's like a 5-year-old's logic. I don't think so. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing for a person to come to. And it even gives like a quick 2-minute backstory where he sees bad people doing bad things on the news over and over again, day in and day out. And then he's given like immediately, like he thinks these things while in school, and while he's leaving his school, he finds the notebook. So I think just subliminally there's a connection there that is naturally being made between bad people, I can kill people, equals I should kill bad people. I mean, see, the problem with that is that he's the one creating the situations. And I don't think it's okay to say that people with half a brain cell know the world is in shades of gray, because there's a difference between different types of brain functions, I guess. But I mean, like you have book smarts, which he's obviously very book smart, and you have let's see, you have wit, which is being able to quickly come up with intelligent responses to things, and you have, like, I guess, wisdom, which is sort of a long-term, not, it's like the opposite of quick wit is wisdom, is having a general understanding of how you should live your life, assuming you want to reach certain goals. But then you also have, like, morals, which is completely different. And clearly Light does not really have a moral compass. So I would say he's probably a psychopath. And it just, so that is a coincidence, right? That's manufactured, that a psychopath finds the notebook. But I don't think the situations are very manufactured. I think that the situations that come up are pretty normal. I think the worst case of this is when L first does his TV thing. I think that he could have done something a lot more intelligent than that. but everything else in the series, I think, makes sense. I think logically it makes sense the way things progressed. It's also a coincidence that Light happens to be the son of the chief. I'm not sure how the series would have evolved if that were not the case. And no, I have not read Liar Game. But because Light was the chief's son, he was able to hijack his father's computer to get access to classified information, and then L was able to deduce that Kira had access to classified information, which thus narrowed the scope of the investigation down to only people that are, you know, families of people in the task force, basically. I have an allergy to popular stuff, and I find pretty much everything cringe/dumb. I find 99% of anime horrible, cringe, dumb. But I think Death Note is very much not anime. Some of the scenes and the portrayals of the scenes, like the infamous potato chip scene, are pretty wacky, and they over dramatize some of the visuals. But that's true for every anime, and that's whatever. The part that I like about it is the narrative, is the story, is the step-by-step logic of what happens. I think that it is very well told, and it doesn't, like, you could theoretically see all the twists coming in advance. Theoretically. Because it's just it's so logical. And you can like anime for different reasons. The thing is, I am extremely open to several different forms of media, to the point where, like, I mean, I do this with fighting games. Like, I don't care if a fighting game has a good story mode. I just don't care. I don't care if it has good matchmaking. I don't care if it has a good story mode. I don't care if it has good visuals. I don't care if it has a good soundtrack. Those things are nice. But I play fighting games because they're fighting games, and the main draw of a fighting game is the 1v1 PvP. And both players trying to get as good as they possibly can at the game. That's why I play fighting games. So I don't care about games that focus on other things. Like the Street Fighter V trailer that just dropped is just 30 minutes of single player content. It's like, if I want to play single player content, I'm going to go play a single player game. I'm not going to play a fighting game. Some people are not like that. Some people are like, I like fighting games. I want the fighting game to do everything for me. And it's like, okay. Do you think Street Fighter 6 is too bloated? I mean, it certainly has things that I don't care about. I'll probably play through the single player just because I can. But if the game released as the way the beta was, I would play it a lot. If it didn't have any of the single player, if it didn't have any of like the lobbies, like the battle hub, if it didn't have any of the training mode options, if it didn't even have a training mode, I would probably still play it and like it. The reason they added all these modes is so that they could draw in people who are not like me, because they already got me. There's a very small portion of the population like me who only cares about the gameplay and only cares about the competitive 1v1 PvP tournament level gameplay. That is a very small portion of the population. And so most games, if they only tailor toward that, they just fail because they don't have enough people playing the game. So will that affect the single player? Will not affect the competitive nature of the game at all. There is a small chance that a player purchases the game for the single player content, then discovers that they have a love for the PvP, and then start the PvP and then like win a tournament or something. So I guess that might happen, but there's no direct line. Like, the game having single player content will not make the PvP any more interesting at all. Get the casuals with all their stupid opinions on the balance of the game. Yes. And the devs won't listen to them. Hopefully. Or they'll listen to them, but they won't sacrifice the competitive integrity of the game. Like, there's a reason that they added more modes. There's a reason that one of the input types is not available in online ranked at all. There's a reason that there are game modes with different rules. Like, you have trucks flying in that hit the characters or whatever. I think there's like a bull that comes in and hits like there's so many different random elements in that game mode that might be fun to a casual player, but not to, you know, a competitive player. So that they've effectively made different games that different players will play, and they've balanced the game around those things, right? The single player game mode is balanced around single player gameplay. Like, your character will get stronger and stronger and stronger as you learn more moves. The casual game mode with the bull running in is balanced around casuals who want to play the game with each other, not single player, by having a bunch of random stuff. But the prices for the pull package, I wouldn't mind paying less for just the competitive experience. Wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? You know? They're sort of doing that, right? Because you get the demo for free in 5 days. Or if you're on console right now, it's out right now. Demo, get it, play it. But that's only single player, and it's only a small portion of it. There's ways to get the game and then not touch 90% of it. Well, then don't not touch 90% of it. Play it. You know? It might not be worth the extra money, but the thing is, a fighting game is extremely cost effective. Extremely cost effective. Because you're getting... How many hours? I currently have 467 hours over the past year of content, and the game's still going strong. The game's still there's still characters to be added. You know, we're getting Sylvie and Naj and Goenitz later this year. There's still more. There will be balance changes, probably, definitely. And I've already paid for all of that. I already have it. And sometimes it goes on sale, which is nice, but whatever. But like most games, like, let's see. Let me find a single player game in my library. Let's do a story-driven game, like The Last of Us. That's on PC. You pay $60 for a roughly 15-hour game, right? And it's pretty good. It's a good story. It's got somewhat deep combat, I guess, depending on what on your difficulty. But it's $60 for 15 hours of immersive gameplay content, and basically anybody can play it. Basically anybody, which is why it's so popular. It's because it's got a good story, a good narrative, good storytelling, and it's open to everybody because of the difficulties. Like, literally anybody can play the game and beat it and experience all the story. That's $60 for 15 hours. Or you can be like us and play a fighting game, which is hundreds of hours of content per year, as long as there are people playing it. I mean that changes based on the game, but for KOF 15, I have played it for 500 hours over the past year, and it's still going strong, and I'm still learning new things. There are still players who are better than me that I want to beat. But then there are also players who don't like fighting games. They want to just experience a game. They don't want to play a game, they want to experience a game. And fighting games are not for those people. Any single player game recommendations? Depends on what you're looking for in a single player game. Are you looking for story? Are you looking for a gameplay challenge? Are you looking for... And if you are looking for a story, what kind of story are you looking for? Do you like Dark Souls story? Dark Souls has a pretty interesting way of telling his stories. Portal is a puzzle game. Let me list so I keep all my Steam games in categories. I have a category called puzzle. There you go. Brothers. This is a co-op puzzle game, so if you have a friend or a family member to help you out, it's really good, and it has a story in it as well. But it's mostly puzzle driven. And you can play it single player if you want, because the way it works is you have a controller and one hand controls one character, the other hand controls the other character. Contrast, its puzzles are pretty bad, but it is technically a puzzle adventure game. But I like the speedrun. Do I keep non-Steam games on Steam too? Some of them I do. All of the Misc games are great. Misc 1, 2, and 3 are great. Misc 4 is pretty good. Don't get Misc 5. And Riven is Misc 2. That Riven is Misc 2. All the Misc games are great puzzles. Amazing puzzles. Misc 5 sucks. Don't get Misc 5. Outer Wilds is amazing. Outer Wilds is one of the best games I've ever seen. Ever. In the history of video games. It is a story game. It is an adventure game. It is a puzzle game. It is a physics-based game. And it's amazing. And they all of those things tie together. Because the puzzles are about the exploration, and the way you learn about the puzzles is by reading. So, I guess small spoiler about the nature of the game, but you'll learn this very quickly. The game is about you exploring space, and there was an old species that came before you, and you're trying to figure out why they went extinct. That is the only... Is it scary? There are scary elements, but not really. The DLC is more scary than the base game, and there is an option to turn off scares, but that kind of breaks the game, so I would say don't turn off the scares. And it's not that scary. it's not that scary. I would just play the game. There are some scary elements, and I mean, is the Misc series scary? No. Like, I think there's like one really lame jump scare in Misc 4. Although both Misc and Outer Wilds might trigger some like dread in you if that's a problem, because Misc 1 especially, which is this one, you're like placed on this weird island and there's nobody there. but there's no like jump scares or anything. Like you're not actually being watched, but it might feel that way. Riven, there's really nothing scary on Riven. Riven's just amazing. Riven is just there's 5 different islands and all of them have puzzles, and all of the puzzles interact with each other. Oh man. As far as I know, as far as I'm aware, there's no like scary stuff in Riven. But yeah, Misc 1 is like, all the Misc games are not scary. They're not scary. The only thing that makes Misc 1 scary is the fact that you're on an island alone and you have to solve puzzles alone. There's no jump scares, there's no enemies following you. There's no way to like lose the game on these. The only thing that you can do is solve puzzles and progress. There's no dying. There's no game over unless you like get a bad ending. Like Misc has several endings, Riven has several endings, Misc 3, yeah, Misc 3 has several endings, but they're not like death endings. They're not. I guess you can kind of die in 3, but not. It's not scary. It's not scary at all. Outer Wilds, I don't want to spoil anything, but I wouldn't say Outer Wilds is scary. It has certain areas that are scary, that are sort of meant to be scary. There's one in particular that is supposed to be scary, and you don't go there until very late in the game. Or I mean, you can go anywhere, but you'll have no idea what to do if you go there early. So, like, for real, the entire game, like the speedrun of Outer Wilds glitchless is like 5 minutes. So the whole point of Outer Wilds is you're going out and exploring and learning. You're reading what the old aliens came before you did, and you have no goal. You will learn a goal. You will infer a goal based on what you find. But when you start, there is no goal. But when proceeding toward the goal, which is, I guess, just learning as much as you can, it's all knowledge based. So I really can't tell you what's in the game exactly, but I can tell you that it is amazing. It is great. It is almost flawless. The only thing that can make it better is if there was like voice acting, so that you wouldn't have to read. But even then, it's basically flawless. Also, there are some glitches, but very, very, very rarely will the glitches actually matter. And the whole thing is like physics based, so there's naturally going to be glitches. Please Don't Touch Anything is a series of puzzles that you can do in any. So basically, you're given a table, and there's secrets inside this table, and you have to find all the secrets. It's very interesting, and they're very obscure. I would be surprised if you could complete the game without looking up a guide. It is very, very obscure. Portal, you know about Portal. Portal's good. These games, I didn't play them very much. I was not interested, so I don't know much about them. I think they're like point and click puzzle games. Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter and Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishments are both very, very, very good. They're sort of like narrative puzzles, but you're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to convict the wrong criminal. It's very interesting. And it's like episodic, so you have like 5 episodes that are a couple of hours long each. So that's Devil's Daughter and Crimes and Punishments are both very good. There are more of them, but they're not as good as those two. So I would say those two are the best. And that's all I have in puzzles. There are other puzzle games that are also very good, but I mean, I cannot recommend Outer Wilds and the Myst 1 through 4 games any higher. They're all great. And skill games are just games that I like to play for skill that I can play forever. So this is Geometry Dash is like it's sort of like a rhythm game. There's card games in here, so Gwent is a card game, Shadowverse is a card game, Uno and Master Duel are both are all card games. Papers, Please is like a story-driven, like a management game, I guess. It's very unique. This game is very unique. The premise is that you are a guard at a gate, and people are trying to pass through the gate, and you either have to let them through or not let them through, and you get money for successfully letting people through, and you lose money if you let people through who are not supposed to be let through. And each day you'll have different requirements for who can be let through and who can't. Simply Chess is just chess. Ultimate. This game is something else. This is Five Nights at Freddy's, but with 50 enemies. So yeah, it is definitely a survival management game. There will be enemies attacking you from different... It's not a fan game. This is made by Scott Cawthon. This is made by the real FNAF guy. It was supposed to be DLC for FNAF 6, but he made it its own separate thing as a free game on Steam. And the goal is to survive until 6 a.m., just like all the other games. But this time you have 50 enemies, and there's not 5 nights anymore. It's just a generic custom night where you can set as many enemies on whatever difficulty you want as you want. And then you have take this, tic-tac-toe. Speedruns. These are the main games that I speedrun. Oh, why is this not on here? Hold on. Speedruns, for sure. I made the speedrun.com page for this game. This game is incredibly whack, but I think he made it that way on purpose. A casual playthrough of Northern Journey will take about 15-ish hours. And it's kind of like a shooter? Not really. Not really. It's like Zelda, where you collect new... It's not even like Zelda. What is it like? It's like Resident Evil in terms of gameplay, where you collect stronger guns, but instead of guns, it's like medieval. So you have like a bow and arrow and a crossbow and various other projectiles. All of your tools are projectiles. You don't have a melee attack, but your very first weapon is a sling, which has infinite ammo. So, and you will go through, you will solve puzzles, you will kill enemies. The main gameplay elements are killing enemies, but almost all enemies are finite. So as soon as you kill one enemy, it is gone forever. But the same is true of your ammo and your, well, not your health. You have a way to heal infinitely, but it's like Resident Evil basically. The first half of the game is very open, and you can do things in various orders, and then the second half of the game is like a boss rush. A very linear boss rush. Takes someone to find a match. I'm on Discord and no one's on Discord currently. It normally does not take this long. But I mean, I found a match. It just wasn't a very good match. But Northern Journey, I highly recommend. No one in the Discord is willing to play right now, or is wanting to play right now. And I'm pretty strict on who I play against. I basically exclusively play against Discord people in the first to 10 Discord, because I hate playing 2 games and then they leave. I hate that. It's really annoying. Outlast is a horror game that I speedran. It's a pretty good speedrun. It's pretty hard and inconsistent though, and I think it's also like hardware dependent. So it's pretty broken right now, but the glitchless speedrun, or like the no major glitches, or like, I don't know, there's probably a good category. Also, Outlast 3 is coming out soon, which is great. Outlast 2 sucks. Don't get Outlast 2. Outlast 1, outside of the speedrun, is a phenomenal horror game. It is gory. It is very gory, and it has a couple of jump scares, but not really. Most of the horror is in the gore, and is in like just the fact that there are these things wandering around that are stronger than you, and you can't kill them. You have to run and hide. Do you know about Faith? Yes, I do. It's an okay game. It's pretty gimmicky. Haunted Memories is trash. Do not get this game. Is it even on Steam anymore? It is not on Steam anymore, so you can't get this game. Thank God. Dishonored, you know about that. Contrast, I talked about it. It's like it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle game where the gimmick is you're allowed to enter the shadows on a wall. So what you generally do is you move objects in the environment to move the shadows, and that will help you progress somehow. There's various puzzles, but the speedrun is also very good and very glitchy. Most of the speedrun is just glitches and just making jumps to areas that you're not supposed to. This game is trash because it's trash. There's just no redeemable qualities about this game at all. I currently have the world record speedrun, and it's like 2 minutes. Hold on, let me find it. Garbage games is any game that I know for a fact that I will never play again. For example, Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma is not actually trash, but I'll never play it again because of Central Fiction, right? Like X2 Reload. Why would I ever play this? Why would I ever play Sign when I have Rev 2? Why would I ever play this when the actual game is out? You know, I play New World regularly. I played New World today, actually, or yesterday, I think. Last played yesterday. Asterigos is like Dark Souls, but different. It's Dark Souls. It has a very good story and like a very good fantasy world. And it's less esoteric than Dark Souls as well. Most of the story is just straight up given to you in dialogue. But yeah, it's got a very good world, and I'm interested in speedrunning it in the future. I have not tried yet. Let's see. I wonder if it has a speedrun page. It does not. Oh, it does. It is a very inactive... Yeah, there are 3 people that have ever submitted a speedrun for the game ever. So, yeah. It is a very small game that I am interested in speedrunning. We'll see how it goes. Maybe. Anna. Anna is mostly I like Anna because of the nostalgia. It is one of the first games I played on Steam. And it's probably trash. It's probably really bad. It's a very unintuitive puzzle game, especially the original. So when you buy this version, you get both versions. It might not work. You might have to do some workaround because you have to run it through a launcher, and I don't think the launcher works anymore. So you might have to go into the files and like bypass the launcher or something. But I don't know how that works. But if you do get it working, the original game is an extremely makes no sense puzzle game with kind of a story, kind of. The extended edition is the same. It's a little bit bigger. There's more stuff in it. There's more endings. And some of the puzzles kind of make sense, not really. And they added more stuff. That's really it. So I would say don't get Anna unless it's unless you really liked it. I will say it was somewhat popular for about a week when it came out because of its graphics. Also, it has a very good soundtrack. Very, very good soundtrack. Very good soundtrack. Oh god. Pretend like you don't see this. Hat in Time's a speedrunning game, but it's not very good. This game is like exclusively for speedruns. What is this? I feel like there's so many games in here that I did not buy. Yeah, all these are pretty... Shadowrun was interesting. It was like a stealth game, I think. I didn't play very much of it, though. 74 hours in this game. That's way too much. But yeah, there you go. As far as other single-player games, I'll just go through them. This is a pretty good speedrunning. I'm gonna put this in speedruns. This game was not bad. It's like it's a 2D side-scrolling Assassin's Creed game. It's pretty good. Bastion is like a top-down 2D game. I don't know much about it. It's like a combat. It's like Hades, if you know Hades. Obviously, the Batman Arkham games are pretty good. I have all of them. Bayonetta. Bayonetta is just a button masher. Binding of Isaac, I don't think it's classified as a roguelike, technically, but it's a dungeon crawler. Black Desert is great. It is like an MMO, but with aspects of a fighting game in it. Like it's literally an MMO through and through, but it literally also has hold back to block. And it has super armor, and it has some invincibility on it, and it has a guard gauge. And yeah, and it's fairly horizontal. Like, your first 10 hours will be vertical, meaning that you actually get significantly stronger the more you play. But once you hit a certain point, the rate at which you grow is very, 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 very slow. And sort of the fun of the game is just playing it against other players. You might have a slight advantage or disadvantage depending on the gear. There are game modes where it is equalized, so that's not the case. But you also have other various game modes, which are, so you have 1v1s, you have like groups, like 3v3s. You also have straight on wars between guilds, because it is an MMO, so there's guilds with like a ton of people fighting each other. You have an infinite amount of single player content. I've heard the story is good, but I don't play it for the story, so I don't know. If you ignore the story, it's a lot of just mashing if you want to do the quests. But you also have insanely good graphics. It's probably the best looking MMO in the world currently. Just it's very good. The music's okay. I usually play with the music off, but whatever. And what else is there? There's so many other aspects to it that are not PvP. You have fishing, you have cooking, you have alchemy, you have trading. Like there's a dozen different life skills, and they're all their own game. They're all their own game. They all work differently. But the thing is, you don't have to do any of them, because in the end, each life skill or each thing that you might do will give you certain materials, but there's a central marketplace where players will sell things to you. And so what you do is you pick one or two or three or four things that you really like to do, and you do those, and you overdo those to where you have more than enough stuff that you would need, and then you sell the extra. And then you use that money to buy the things that players made doing things that you're not doing. So if you don't like to farm, but you like to cook, then you can just cook and overcook and sell the things that you cook while buying the ingredients for your cooking recipes from the marketplace, if you like cooking. If that makes sense. And there's various reasons to have food that is cooked. And the best part, it is technically not free. There is a free trial. However, very, very frequently they will host or there will be an event that says if you hit level 50 during your free trial, then you just get to keep it for free forever. And you can hit level 50 within an hour, and your trial is 7 days long, so it's basically free. It's basically free. I have spent exactly 0 money on Black Desert, and it's still great. It's still great. Also, you have horse breeding, horse racing, and puzzles. There's a whole thing about puzzles, but I found it very boring. So the puzzles is probably not good. There's a card game called Yar, which is based on like a real poker game. I forget what it's called, but it seems pretty fun. There's so many different things that just do different things. There's also a board game, but it's a really boring board game. It's not really a game. It's just you click the button and you get something, basically. What else is there? There's world bosses. So like, imagine Dark Souls, but you have like 5,000 people fighting the same boss at the same time, but the boss has like 1 billion health. Those are world bosses, and they spawn on set weekly timers as well. So you know when and where they will spawn, and literally everybody on the server is fighting against the same health bar. Those are world bosses. And also, you literally turn the bosses into weapons and armor. Like, the name of your weapons and armor will be the name of the boss. So after you kill a world boss a certain number of times, you'll get materials which you can craft into a weapon. And it'll say, like, Kazarka weapon. And the name of the boss is Kazarka. Things like that, which is really awesome. You also have there's too many things. This game is too big. This game is too big. It is 56 gigs. It's too big. Blade of Fury was interesting. It's like a hack and slash. Not really. I don't mean it's very unique. It's like a 2D combat game. It's an action game. Don't buy it. This game is trash. I'm gonna just remove it from. Don't buy this. All the Dark Souls are great, including Dark Souls 2. Yeah, this art style looks sick. It's really cool. Let me look at the images. It's very Skullgirls-y. Isn't Dark Souls supposed to be really hard? That's like saying fighting games are hard because you're not going to have a very high win rate compared to most like when you play a Batman game, you're not really supposed to die. You might die if you mess up, but you're not really supposed to die. When you play Dark Souls, you're supposed to die, which is why it's called Prepare to Die Edition. Although you should probably get the remaster, not the Prepare to Die Edition. Dark Souls is a fairly slow-paced. It's kind of like a middle-y paced, hardcore combat system where you are committed to your swing when you swing, and it is very easy to die to basic enemies if you're not paying attention, especially if there are many of them, and especially if you don't know how to beat them. There's a lot of bosses. You will die to bosses over and over again, but you will eventually learn their moves, and you will eventually, theoretically, and this is the main selling point of Dark Souls games, you will eventually, theoretically, be able to take off all your weapons and armor and punch the boss to death without taking a single hit. That is how the game is designed. It is possible, if you're good enough, to beat the game without taking damage. It'll take longer if you don't have a good weapon, obviously, because you won't deal as much damage, but it's possible. That is the main selling point of Dark Souls games. And all of them are good. So, 1 remastered, 2 Scholar, and 3, what is it called? I think the official name is like Lords of Cinder. All of them are good. The same is also, do you need a controller? No. 99% of players play it with a controller. It's fun. Are they scary? No. You might get jump scared by like an enemy that you didn't know was there, but they're all in like third person, so it's not scary. Ooh, tinnitus. They're not scary at all. I mean, they're kind of like dark, obviously. They're very dark, they're very medieval. The world is corrupted, the world is broken. It's apocalyptic, but there's no there's no scares. Like, you're expected to die. There's some pretty creepy looking monsters. If that scares you, then... Did you play using a controller? I played 1 and 2 and 3 with a controller. Elden Ring, which won Game of the Year last year, I did not play with a controller. Well, I started with one, but then I stopped because it broke. And I thought it worked fine with the keyboard. I thought it was fine. People usually play it with the controller, but it's totally fine with the keyboard. The older games might not work as well with the keyboard. I'm not sure. Devil May Cry. This is a good game. This is like a button masher, but with tactics, because it's made by Capcom. So yeah. Also, Dark Souls games are RPGs. So you have character creation, and you can choose your builds. So you go around and you can collect weapons and armor and spells, and you can change your builds based on that. So they are RPGs. Sekiro is also a Dark Souls game. It's made by the same people, but it's not an RPG. So you have less freedom with how you build your character. You have less than 10 hours on most of the games. Isn't that not worth the price? Dark Souls 1, I have 250 hours. Dark Souls 2, I have 200 hours. Also, did I have this game on Xbox? I think I played this game on Xbox earlier. I'm not sure. Dark Souls 3, I have 628 hours. And then the remaster came out. I didn't play it because I played the first version. But the remastered is the same as the first version, but as the first, but better. DMC4, it's like DMC5 but worse, I guess. DMC5 is really cool. So this game took me 10 hours to beat. I beat the game, I think. So that's why I have 10 hours on it. But I also want to put this in speedruns. This is a really cool speedrun. This is a really cool like imagine, man, I don't know how to describe, like, there's just something about Devil May Cry that is exceptional. Like, just the way it feels to play the game is great. Like, I am considering making a fighting game, and I am using mechanics from Devil May Cry 5 as inspiration for mechanics that I would put into a fighting game. And then DMC HD Collection is the first 3 games. I might eventually go back and play them, but probably not. Dishonored. Don't get... this game sucks. Don't get this one. This is a remake to the first game, and it's pretty terrible. I mean, it's very edgy and funny. If you want a game that's funny, get this one. Like, the game starts with you nude in a truck, and there's this huge action sequence where things fly in front of your genitals to hide it from the camera. In like very convenient ways. Dust was interesting. It's like an exploration game. Dust reminds me of Ori in the Blind Forest, which is also very good, and I want to play them eventually at some point. For Honor is kind of dead, isn't it? It's like For Honor is basically a fighting game, but not really. It's probably dead. God Eater 2 is anime shooter beat 'em up game, kind of. They're okay. GTFO is like, this game is like very, very hardcore. Co-op dungeon crawler. So the goal is to complete a dungeon, but you have limited ammo, and it's very, very difficult. Very, very, very hard, and very slow paced. It's very slow paced until something bad happens. Then it becomes very, very fast paced. Hollow Knight. It's kind of like 2D Dark Souls, but more movement based and has some physics in it. People really like this game. People really like this game. I'm neutral toward it. I didn't really play through it very much, obviously. What is it? Oh, this is Toho. So this is a dodge the projectile game where you're this tiny character on a screen and you have to dodge bullets. There's 50,000 bullets flying at you. This game is also exceptional. This is the best Final Fantasy game because it's not story driven. The story sucks. The story sucks, but the combat is very good. So it's like, okay, so let's start with your basic RPG, where you have a team of 3 characters, and each of those characters has a role. You might have one mage, you might have one tank, you might have one like one warrior, I guess, or one support character. Okay. Layer 1, it's no longer turn-based. Instead, you always have action, or you always have access to all your actions, but you have an ATB bar, which is action. I forget what it stands for, but ever since Final Fantasy 12, they changed turn-based to a cooldown system, basically, to where the game runs in real time and you can move the characters around there and stuff, but you have to give them an action to do. And in 12, it would tick up, and then once the bar was filled, they would do the action, and then you would give them a new action, and then the bar would start at empty and then full, and then they would do the action. In 13, they flipped it. Well, in this game they flipped it. In 13.3, which is the third 13, which is Lightning Returns, they changed it to where it's more of like a stamina meter, to where when you do certain actions, the bar goes down and the bar slowly refills over time. Here's the catch. You only have one character, but your one character is 3 different characters, and you switch between those 3 stamina bars at will. Completely 100% at will. And that is very interesting for various reasons. I could go into more depth, but in general, outside of the combat, it is a time management game. Like one of your core abilities is being able to pause time, because the world is going to end in 13 days and you need to do stuff before that happens. So outside of combat, it's a time management game with like side quests and everything. This game is also great. I mainly played this on the Xbox, which is why I don't. Wait, this is the sequel. I played the prequel to this game on Xbox mainly. I think I beat it. It's got some story. It's like Assassin's Creed. It's a big open world with some generated events, but you have like quests and stuff. It's pretty good, and the combat is very deep. It's got very very good combat. Momodora is 2D Dark Souls with anime pixels. Don't get this game. New World is an MMO, a very good. It's a very immersive MMO, I would say. It has very good sound design, good music. It's fairly realistic. The graphics are great. And the thing that I like the most about this game is it doesn't really have dailies. Like when you play Lost Ark, it's like every day you do your Chaos Dungeon, and every day you do your raid, and every day you do and every week you do your Abyss Dungeons. Every day you donate this much to the guild. Every day you do these daily Una's tasks. And it's like, It's very, very monotonous. New World does not do that. It just has every 30 minutes you get new quests, and you probably, it's probably impossible to do all of them. So you always have new quests that you might do, but on top of that you also have like the main quest line and side quests that you all do once each. You have PvE, you have dungeons, you have quests, or you have PvP, you have 1v1s, you have 2v2s, you have straight up wars, and also what's unique about this is that you have like actual wars between factions. So there are 3 factions, and each faction controls certain territories, and so there will be wars for taking over territories, but you also have like forts and stuff that you can just go and take whenever you want. And there's various reasons to have certain territories under your faction's control, namely to deal with the crafting system. And dear lord, just the sound design when you cut down a tree or when you mine a boulder is just, it's phenomenal the way they handled that. Also, they just added new DLC, so there's like a ton. There's like a brand new area as well. It's a huge map. Nier, everyone knows about this game. It's like Dark Souls but with robots, and it's got a good story and it's got good music, and it's sort of like a shmup, sort of. People love this game. It's fairly long if you want to get all the endings. Neo is Dark Souls. It's a little bit more tactical in its combat. It's kind of similar to Sekiro in that sense, but the main downside of Neo is that it gets old fast, because there's only a handful of enemies, and they just sort of like copy paste the enemies over and over again, and it's not very engaging after that point, but it is very good. I like it. If you just want to play for the combat, you don't really care about the variety, go for it. Okami HD is a story. This is just a good game. It's an okay game. Oh, KOF 15 crossplay beta. Excuse me? Is that on Twitter? What is this? I'm putting it in the Discord. The King of Fighters 15 will hold a cross-platform open beta test 1 week from yesterday for 4 days. Even if you don't own the game yet, so it's free, so anybody can play it. That's cool. Well, the crossplay is not in the game yet. On all platforms. That's the important part. Experience the crossplay in Street Fighter 5 and go to get. I mean, Street Fighter 5 just has bad netcode. And the thing about PlayStation is, just based on experience, PlayStation players tend to be on Wi-Fi. Also, Sony as a company makes it very hard. Well, not even hard, but makes it very strict in how they handle crossplay with other platforms. So it's mostly Sony's fault. And yeah. Anyway, Persona 5, great. I love Persona games. Persona 3 is the best. Persona 4 is the worst of the three. Persona 5, actually, Persona 5 might be better than Persona 3. It's hard to say. I like the music in 3 more. As far as like the best tracks, I like the music in 5 more overall. It has nothing. It has no lackluster tracks. Persona 5 is amazing in terms of the consistency of its music. Strikers is under the action category because Strikers is like a spin-off, which is like a beat 'em up. It's like Dynasty Warriors if you play Dynasty Warriors, where you're just going around killing a million enemies. And it is a sequel to Persona 5, which is also on Steam. Persona 5 is like several hundred hours long, and I've watched it through twice. Remember Me is a pretty old Capcom like beat 'em up game. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Ruiner I didn't play for very much. It was okay. It's very similar to Hades but worse. Sekiro, I talked about Sekiro. It's Dark Souls, but single player and no character customization. So really you can't really get replay value out of it, but you can do like challenge runs and like mods. But this has like the best combat out of any Dark Souls game, as far as just the general mechanics. It's very good. The gist is that you can block, but if you block at the last second, he'll like do a parry, and then if you do that enough times, you can one-shot the opponent with one hit. Sleeping Dogs is like GTA, but a little bit more story-driven. It's pretty story-driven, but it's like a brawler. Fallen Order is Dark Souls but with lightsabers, and it's getting a sequel soon. Pretty good. I wouldn't say it's fantastic, but it's pretty good. Thymesia is Dark Souls. I played it for a couple of hours, and 90% of that time was on the first boss, and it was pretty good. I liked it. I might play it more soon. Don't buy that game. It sucks. Transistor is a story-driven, top-down view tactical action game, if that makes sense. Like, you have your basic action, but you're allowed to like plan in advance what your character will do. So it's sort of tactical, but also not. Yeah, this game is great. Also, it has good voice acting. Trine, I didn't play very much. I think it's like a side scroller. I don't know. Witcher 3, obviously, amazing game. One of the best games ever made. Obviously. I just haven't played it on Steam very much. They just updated it with a new, like a new next gen update. It's kind of buggy, but they've patched it. And you don't have to play that version. You can just play the old version, and it's still amazing. It's great. It's a huge open world, decent combat. You have I guess crafting. The world building is insane. Your Bioshock games are like shooters, story driven. I'm pretty sure I played it on Xbox. Bioshock Remastered, Bioshock 2 Remastered. These are like these are very linear shooters with really cool like magic stuff that you can do. It's first person, and it has a really good story, really good voice acting. Bioshock Infinite, obviously very good. Took me 12 hours to beat it, apparently. Not sure if I'd played the DLC. Divinity 2 is like Dungeons and Dragons, but a tactical turn-based RPG. So it's like a video game version of Dungeons and Dragons. Hi, puppy. Come here. Very good. Although no voice acting, so it's mainly reading. Skyrim is Skyrim. Everyone knows Skyrim. Final Fantasy 3 was pretty bad. I played it for a few hours. Pretty lackluster. 7, people love this game. I hate this game. I do not like this game. 8 seemed good, but then I got annoyed because like the week I bought this game, they announced a remaster, and I'm like, oh, well. 13 has a good story, and the combat is better than most Final Fantasies because it's not really turn-based. It's kind of turn-based. Oh, and I've actually done speedruns of this. Duh. I have freaking 60 hours in this game. I did speedruns. The speedrun is really interesting. 13.2 has a really good atmosphere to it, but the story doesn't really make sense. It's way too long, and the combat is better than the first one, but worse than the third one. Obviously, Final Fantasy X is phenomenal. Final Fantasy X-2 is a meme, but I still think it's okay. Last of Us, insane story. Like, Game of the Year levels, several awards. Great. It's very good story. So who doesn't know anything about them? Every single Final Fantasy game is completely independent, so it depends on what you like in Final Fantasy, or what you like in games, right? Lightning Returns is the one I would recommend because it is the closest to a fighting game. If you like MMOs, get 14, because 14 is an MMO. Very popular. Mirror's Edge is like a hardcore parkour platformer. Pretty famous. It's pretty good. It's it's pseudo linear, where you have multiple ways of completing your tasks. Octopath is a story-driven tactical RPG. The main reason I play is for the tactics. It has a very interesting combat system, and the bosses are very hard, and the music is exceptionally phenomenal. Like, insanely good music. It is classical, so if you don't like orchestras, then maybe you won't like the music, but the main reason I like it is for the tactics. Octopath 2 is a big upgrade. I played the demo. It seemed exactly the same as the original, but with like 1 or 2 extra mechanics. Ori, obviously, hugely popular game. It's like an exploration, platformer, exploration, action, adventure game. Very unique. Persona 5 Royal. If you want to just pay $60 and be like, I want to be told a story for the next 200 hours, this game does it for you. Almost entirely voice acted. Almost. All the important parts are voice acted. Great art style. Amazing tactical turn-based RPG combat. It's great. I love it. I love the combat. If you play on hard mode, I love the combat. It's great. Soma is like Amnesia. It's made by the same people. It's like a robot apocalypse. Very linear. Pseudo horror, not really. It's like a creepy horror. You're not gonna get like jump scared, but you will be like hiding from enemies and stuff. Tales games are just RPGs, like very long. If you like Octopath Traveler, you'll probably like Tales, although the styles are different, but the general idea is the same. Thief is like obviously stealth-based, story-driven game. Undertale, everyone knows Undertale. It's an RPG, but it's a very unique turn-based RPG with good music. This game kind of lackluster. It's like a big open world puzzle game where you can fly around. Ow! It's pretty lackluster, honestly. Hi, Poppy. Castlevania games are great. I love old Castlevania Advance games. I love them. It's like a dungeon crawler, but it's very open world, and it's like a Metroidvania. Well, I guess it's where the word comes from, but that's where you can collect upgrades to your character that lets you go and explore areas that you couldn't earlier. Like a double jump, for example. Don't know about Dwarf Fortress? Nope. Cyberpunk is like Skyrim, but in the future. Very good. I really like Cyberpunk. Very buggy, though. Bloodstained? Yes. Bloodstained is also very good. Dear Esther is a very old story game, and it's entirely story driven. Like you just walk around and you read. Yeah, there's more Elder Scrolls games. Forest is a co-op survival base builder. A little bit of horror in it, not really. It's kind of spooky. But yeah, the main selling point is base building. It's pretty good. Wizard game. This game is pretty good, honestly. For what it is, I think they did it perfectly. It's a fantasy game. It's an open world fantasy game where you learn new spells. Jade Empire. I forget everything about this game. I completely forget how this game works. I think it's like a story driven, but also you have some combat in it. I forget how it works. Kingdom Classic. So all the Kingdom games are like base builder, army builder, base defense, but also you want to explore. And I really like this game. Obviously, I have freaking 40 hours in it, and it's like a tiny game. So, No Man's Sky is open world to the extreme. The universe is huge, and you earn like points in new stuff by exploring, by taking a scanner and being like, I found a new planet. I found a new plant on the planet. I found a new animal on the planet. and you'll be able to completely go to different star systems and talk to new species, talk to new faction. Like, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. You can build your own ship, like your own freighter ship, like a huge ship. It's huge. Persona 4, Real Misc. Why are you not in puzzles? Weird. Submerged is an open world. It's not really a platformer, but you're searching for things in a big open world. It's very relaxing. I would say. Valheim, base builder, bosses. There's different regions. You have to build boats. You have to keep yourself fed. There's a food system. You have armor. You have weapons. You have materials. Like, you have to cut down trees, mine rocks, things like that. And it has co-op, so you can play with your friends. Very good. Anyway, the dog is yelling at me. If I've been streaming for a long time, I'll end the stream here. It's been about 2.5 hours. What do you want, puppy? Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. I am hungry, actually. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. How you doing, puppy? Yeah, today's a slow stream. Well, I haven't really been doing anything. It is Friday. The Street Fighter 6 beta, or demo, starts Wednesday, so I'll be doing that. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. And then the day after that will be the KOF crossplay beta. We'll see how that goes. In general, I'm sort of in a limbo state. I'm waiting for Street Fighter 6 to come out. And then I'll play Street Fighter 6 for a while, and then I'll play Tekken 8 for a while. Ow. And then I'll play whatever is... No, stream on Monday? Ow! Probably, if I stream on Monday. Hey, Papa. Ugh. Probably just play KOF. Ugh. Hi, puppy. All right. thanks for watching. I'll probably be back Monday. I'll probably upload some more KOF 15 combo videos in the meantime. Join the Discord, check out my website, and also the channel, obviously, the YouTube channel. See you later.